I'm Liz Duplessis, the instructional designer in distance education at Santa Rosa Junior College. SRJC's Dr. Jurgen Kremer gives us a tour of his online general psychology class in which he emphasizes skillful communication among students and connects with them himself by creating his own lecture videos and using Zoom for office hours. He also discusses some of the unique aspects of teaching psychology online and engaging students by having them share personal life experiences. He starts by showing us his syllabus page in Canvas.
So the first thing I ask students to do is I ask them to look at the syllabus, and I posted 2 videos there. One is telling students how to take my classes successfully in general. So I use the same video in all my classes. And then I give a specific overview of this syllabus, meaning I highlight things that I regard as important or that students commonly forget. I emphasize skillful communication. These are psychology classes. So I talk about kindness, caring, empathy, and try to create an environment. It used to be an issue that on online classes now and then, some students would flame. That really has pretty much gone away.
Next, Jurgen shows how he uses modules. He includes a due date in the module name, an overview page, links to content, and at least one discussion forum each week. The very first assignment is a self-introduction to create a sense of community.
And everybody's asked to respond to at least 2 other self-introductions, which sort of gets some bonding going within even an online class. They can connect because they went to the same school or they've gone through similar experiences, and it creates a little bit of a classroom atmosphere right then and there. Then I asked them to share a psychological experience that was meaningful for them, and again, that is shared with the entire class, so I state very explicitly that they shouldn't share anything that they don't feel comfortable sharing. Part of what I really work on is give my instructions as clearly and succinctly as possible. So, here, how do you do your self-introduction? And I have 6 questions for that. And I tell them very clearly, you have 6 points in numbered short paragraphs and 200 words minimum, right? So the second part of this is they look at their own educational experience after they've watched 2 videos on education, and then they discuss these videos and discuss their own school experience. At times I actually literally ask them to copy and paste the outline that I provide them, to make sure that they cover all the points, but it also makes my reading easier. In psychology, so often this is, maybe a little easier than in some other subjects, because so often you can ask them to integrate it with their life experience or to find some application, and so that then leads more easily to discussion. Personal connection is generally what gets them engaged, and then they also tend to reply more. And at times I use Zoom. After the fires, I invited people to join me on Zoom calls because classes were canceled and people were in crisis. So I set up Zoom calls. I offer during my office hour to be on Zoom. That's a really good resource that I like because, they can see you and you can actually talk with them. And it is at times much easier than email back and forth because you have a live conversation. And what I try to do always is have the same structure. I have gotten very positive feedback about that because students, who take one class, take the other, and they know they're easily oriented. Each module has basically the same structure. My classes have a very similar structure to the extent that that's possible, which, creates comfort for the students.
So, for example, what's this lecture? Where does that link go to?
So this long link goes to a lecture that I recorded, and that is on 3C Media.
Now let me talk about the self.
So then, this is what will show up on their screen. and they can listen to my lecture. And I actually make these available to not just to online school students, but also to hybrid students and even in-class students, because, people get sick, so then they can, catch up with the lecture, or they may just want to review the material. I'm also getting requests that I don't just want the video, but that they want the PowerPoints as a PDF, because then, they can study better, and I've done that in the past, and that's perfectly fine. So then my videos, I try to keep them short, which is not always easy. So I try to keep them between 10 and 20 minutes so that they're not too long, because people are just going to zone out. And I kind of never show my face, but I just show the slides, and which makes it easy because I can record it with my computer at home at any time.
Thanks, Jurgen. To learn more about 3C Media, where faculty can upload videos and request captioning, go to 3cmediasolutions.org and select Register. Faculty can also receive free pro Zoom accounts at conferzoom.org by selecting Sign Up. Thanks for watching.